Welcome to Mogu'shan Vault's 25-man raid finder.
I'm Bryna, a monk tank.
And I'm Evaly, a monk healer. We're on US Ner'zhul.
In this video, we're going to go over the Stone Guard, Feng the Accursed, and Gara'jal the Spiritbinder in LFR mode. For these trash pulls before the first boss, there isn't anything special about them, just pull each group and AoE them down.
The Stone Guard is the first boss in Mogu'shan Vaults. There are 4 different types of Stone Guardians that can be in this fight, but you only get 3 at a time. The 4 Stone Guardian types are Amethyst, Cobalt, Jade, and Jasper. The combination of 3 changes week to week.
Each Stone Guardian has a different ability. Amethyst Guardian casts amethyst pools on the ground. These appear as purple puddles and you'll have to step out of them because they hurt pretty bad if you don't.
Cobalt Guardian casts Cobalt Mines. They look like blue crystals with a blue ring around them. If you stand inside the ring for 3 seconds, the crystal will explode, hurt you, then root you for 6 seconds.
Jade Guardian casts Jade Shards, which is just a raid AoE that you'll have to heal through.
Finally, Jasper Guardian casts Jasper Chains on players randomly. They'll link 2 people together and hurt them both for 15 seconds if they stand far apart. After 15 seconds, the chains will break away. There's a shared health pool between all 3 Guardians, but individual energy bars. When an energy bar fills up, the Guardian casts Overload, which will do raid-wide damage.
Be sure and keep an eye on daily boss mods for the energy levels. Healers, you want to save your minor cooldowns for when a Guardian gets 100 energy and is about to cast an Overload.
If 2 Guardians get 100 energy at about the same time, you're about to get a double Overload. Use your big cooldowns for this. In the average LFR, you'll have about 2 double Overloads.
Tanks, if you have any cooldowns to lessen the raid damage, like a Monk's Avert Harm, use it during a double Overload to help out the healers. Just have your main tank tank all 3 Guardians together, and move when you see the amethyst pools and cobalt mines stacking up around you.
Healers, this isn't a difficult fight to heal, but it is largely on the AoE side of things. Spec toward AoE instant cast heals as much as possible, and keep an eye out on the overload bars to anticipate raid-wide AoE damage.
DPS, you guys can multi-dot the hell out of all 3 lines and go crazy killing them. Try and be nice to your healers and avoid stuff on the ground.
Bottom line is, don't stand on stuff and save cooldowns for double overload.
Pro tip for tanks, on this first trash pull after the Stone Guard, face the mobs away from the raid because they do an AoE in front of them.
Feng the Accursed is the second boss in Mogu'shan Vaults. It has 3 phases. The first starts at 95%, the second at 66%, and the last starts around 33%.
Tanks, right after you pull the boss, 2 blue crystals will appear to the left and right of where you run into the boss room. The crystal on the right will give you a nullification barrier that protects everyone inside from the boss's special abilities for 6 seconds. The crystal on the left will give that tank a spell steal ability. To be honest, in LFR, only the nullification barrier is important. So if you're the main tank, grab the blue crystal on the right as the boss is pulled.
In the first phase, Feng runs over to the northeast corner of the room. He'll cast Epicenter about every 20 seconds, which causes more damage the closer you are to him. Melee DPS, feel free to run away from him. If you'd rather hang out in the Epicenter, keep in mind you'll have a 75% chance to miss and you might die. Or it's perfectly safe to hang out in the Epicenter if you see a blue bubble that looks like a miniature DK AMS to stand in. This is the nullification barrier.
So if you're the tank with the nullification barrier, click it during every epicenter over the melee group to protect him from taking big damage.
Melee DPS needs to make sure they're attacking the boss's butt. If you get swiveled around, everyone has got to keep an eye out for lightning fists, healers included. Those look like blue lightning running away from the boss in a straight line. He'll always cast this directly in front of him, and it'll damage and stun anything in its path.
So if you're tanking him, when you see him cast this, move slightly to the left or right like I do in the video. Healers, if there's a really heavy epicenter, feel free to use a major cooldown to save some mana for later. You'll have your 3-minute cooldown back before the end of the boss, and you'll need it.
When 66% swings around, Feng will run over to the southeast corner of the room.
Tanks, tank him where he runs to when he starts the phase. Whenever he casts Draw Flame, use your nullification barrier at the feet of the boss to stop him from doing a ton of AoE damage to the group. Switch off tanking the boss every 2 to 3 stacks of the Flaming Spear debuff that he puts on you.
Feng will stick a random wildfire spark on people. They'll cause you to burn for a couple seconds before hopping to the ground. Everyone who gets a wildfire spark on them has got to run away from their raids so they don't drop fire on the group. Anywhere left or right of the boss will do. Feng will tug all the drop sparks in toward himself in a straight line during the draw flame phase. When he does this, healers have to watch out for raid AoE damage, and everyone should make sure not to stand in the fire like idiots.
Around 33%, Feng runs to the southwest corner of the room and goes into phase 3. If you have Heroism or Bloodlust and someone else hasn't already used it, pop it at the start of this phase. There's 2 moves here, Arcane Resonance and Arcane Velocity. If you're the tank with the nullification barrier, place it at the feet of the boss during every, or as many as possible, Arcane Velocity. Also tanks, switch off tanking every 2 to 3 stacks of the Arcane Shock debuff that he puts on you.
For ranged DPS and healers, run to the boss's feet every time Arcane Velocity comes up to be protected by the barrier. The further you are from the boss, the more damage you'll take. If Arcane Resonance is on you, you'll look like a mage spamming Arcane Explosion, and deadly boss mods will make you say, "Arcane Resonance is on me." Run away from the boss and everyone around you.
This is pretty damn important, because if you stack on the group while exploding, you'll probably wipe the raid. Healers, pump out all your AoE heals here. This is the shortest and hardest phase to heal through in this LFR. Another tank pro tip here, when tanking these trash mobs after Feng, pull the mobs out of the red smoke that the mobs drop on the ground. If you stay in it, you can't get heals from any healers outside of the smoke, and ranged DPS can't attack the trash.
There's bombs that spawn all around this room, ignite, and then they spread fire trails outward like bicycle spokes. It isn't hard to heal through the fire trails, but expect to get one shot if you stand right on top of a bomb when it explodes. Alright, so there's 2 realms in this fight, the regular boss fighting realm and the spirit realm. Throughout the entire fight, shadowy minions will spawn in the spirit realm and hit people in the regular realm.
So to keep the shadowy minions from becoming overwhelming and wiping the group, you'll have to enter the spirit realm and kill them.
If you're a healer, you get a high mana regen for 30 seconds, basically all your mana back, and if you're DPS, you get a damage increase buff for 30 seconds when crossing back to the regular realm from the spirit realm.
So to enter the spirit realm, you click a totem that the boss spawns. To re-enter the regular realm, click your extra action button that pops up. It's in the Ultraxian button spot if you remember that from DS. If the boss gives you a debuff called Voodoo, you're not eligible to enter the spirit realm until it's gone.
Tanks. This fight is extremely easy to tank because you can't lose aggro. Whatever target he targets first, he'll focus on until he banishes them. When you get banished, he'll put you in the spirit realm and you'll have to kill the Severer of Souls to get back to the regular realm. The Severer of Souls is easy to spot because he's a lot bigger than the rest of the shadowy minions. When one tank gets banished, he'll focus on whoever is second in threat, which better be the off tank or he'll focus on the DPS.
So here's a tank pro tip. If you're a tank and he's focusing on the other tank at the moment, you can taunt the boss to make sure that you're second on threat. He won't turn and attack you, but you'll gain the same amount of threat as the current tank, and make sure that when that tank is banished, he'll focus on you. And save your big defensive cooldowns at 20% for when he enrages.
Healers. Your focus on this fight is to waste all of your mana on keeping the tank, off-tank, and voodooed players alive. The people with the voodoo debuff take a share of the damage that the tank does. When your mana starts to get low, hop into the spirit realm by clicking a totem, whack a shadowy minion once or twice, then hop right back out and enjoy the mana regen. At 20%, the boss will enrage and hit the tank and the voodoo people for much more damage.
DPS, it's your guys' job to make sure the shadowy minions stay under control. Click the totem when it spawns, kill a minion or two, and click your extra action button to re-enter the regular realm. You'll have a 30-second damage increase buff because you cycled into the spirit realm. Every 30 seconds, hop back in with a totem, kill a few minions, and return to DPS the boss again. Remember to pop your heroism or bloodlust when he's at 20% health. Thanks for watching our Mogu'shan Vaults LFR Part 1 guide.
Please tell your friends if every day helped you out and check out our channel for other guides.